Hello, Magi. Megas here on a beautiful day in Asha. Now this video is just for my Magi, but I will allow anyone to watch because I love you and I want you to have this. But I just ask you to do one thing if you stay for this, because I know many people come for the book content, but here I'm putting on my Zoroastrian priest hat. And I'm going to be sharing something so near and dear and beautiful to me that I want that same respect that the Magi would give. So what I'm going to do, if you want to stay, I'm going to present the message. And I ask that you stay through that part. And then when I'm done with the message, I'll say, thank you, I love you, you can go now. And then the rest of us, we just stay and talk and spend time together. So I just ask you to do that for me. Or another thing you could do if you love the cause that we do here, hit that like button. It really does help us get this message to the world. So today I am so beyond moved, so emotional, so sensitive to my Magi. And this goes along with one of our most holy prayers, Hashem Vahu. Hashem Vahu, you connect with the Magi that were, are, and shall be. And we're going to dig into this prayer, this powerful prayer. You're going to see it like you never have. You're going to see, you're going to see everything. And it's so beautiful. But I've been having a hard time making this message because I'm so moved, because I feel my Magi so close. And on top of it, I'm so happy. Another thing, you connect in Hashem Vahu with the Magi that were, are, and shall be. But it also says you connect with all the prayers that will ever be prayed. And in our book, Beauty for Ashes, we take one of these ancient prayers. And what I did here is I translated it into a way that the Western mind can wrap around. So instead of using words like Seoshant or Soshans, I'll use Jesus. Instead of Vohu Menu, I'll use Christ mind, things that we can understand. And then I translated it from the Avestan to English in a way that we can understand. But this is the most holy, beautiful, healing prayer that was sent from the Magi that were. Right now, in truth, the Magi that were, are, and shall be, it's all one thing, but we're talking about being in form. Like the Magi here right now, in form and matter, watching this video. Then there's the Magi that were. There's still Magi to come, but all their holy prayers become ours. And we connect with them, and we can get information from them, my friends. And then you'll notice at the bottom of the prayer there, it says you can use these prayers until you enter first circle, then you will not need them. My friends, you don't need healing when you become health. You don't need peace when you become peace. When you merge with that all good spirit, with that pure light, that pure love, with the Magi that were, are, and shall be, you have it all. And that's what I'm feeling right now. So grateful. I have it all, my friends. Not only just sitting in my library, looking at my books. It's snowing right now outside my beautiful windows on the pine trees. But I have God. I have my family of light. I have protection and provision and beauty. And so I really want to dig in to our prayer Hashem Vahu and show you also some examples of the power of tapping into it. And we know now it's just natural. Science is beginning to understand it even. But it's what they used to call Magi magic, right? The first magicians were Magi, Zoroastrian priests, right? The ones that heard from God, followed the star, and worshiped the Christ were the Zoroastrian priests, the Magi. But it's just working. It's quite natural. It's quite unnatural not to be happy and peaceful and kind, protected, provided for, free. That's unnatural. So what looks like magic to the rest of the world is just us living in Asha, the only real thing, the perfect creator's perfect idea. So I'm going to share that prayer with you guys at the end of my talk here so you fully understand it, because prayer, it's more than just words. It's understanding, it's knowing, it's being. And you'll have this by the end of this talk. And I'm going to share some really fun stories with you. I want to start with it's probably been about 11 months now, I think, where I really experienced the Magi that were, are, and shall be. I call it the were, are, and shall be's. And so in this scenario, the were and shall be showed up for me because you, my wonderful friends, you're in form and matter. You can't travel as quickly as the were and shall be's. So look at this, guys. You're going to love this. About 11 months ago, I was getting ready to go to Barnes & Noble to go book shopping, one of my favorite places on earth, but I'm not going to get into that. Then I needed to stop by the grocery store, get some supplies, because I live out in the woods. Everything's about an hour or so away from me. So when I go, I try to get everything stocked up and come back, and I don't have to leave for a while. I had this download of information. And my spirit guides, which I'll reveal a name to you, which I don't think I've ever done before, and I feel comfortable doing it now. But I had a download, and it showed me at the grocery store. And can I set this up? Are you guys okay? I promise you this will be worth your time. I know your time is valuable, and I respect it, but I promise you this is going to be worth it. This is something, one of those paradigm shifts where when you see where your life changed, you'll look back to this video. I promise you. So at the grocery store I love to go to, we had just a couple awful checkers where it made it, I didn't want to go there anymore. So I started going to a different grocery store, but I really needed to go to this one today. They had some certain things I needed, and I got a download from my spirit guides. It showed that, and I saw it all in my mind, guys, play out. I was at the grocery store. I saw a line that didn't have the checker I didn't like, had the one I liked, that was kind and nice. This is all happening in my mind. I'm totally awake. I downstairs getting ready, and it just hit me. And I saw, oh, I like that checker. I get in line, I get up, and then the checker I don't like comes up and wants to switch with her. And I remember telling my spirit guide, I go, thank you for showing me that. But I'm willing to put up with that checker because I really need to go there today. There's some things I can only get there. And so I'll just try to bring love to her and peace and asha and a smile, And so here's what happened. And then it gets even deeper. So stay with me, guys. You won't believe the next part. So I got my grocery cart full, walking down just like I saw in the vision. I see the checker I like. I get in line, and I get up, and I say hi to her. How are you doing? And she's, oh, good, and we're having this beautiful connection, right? And how you been? And great. And then, just like in the vision, the checker I don't like comes up and goes, okay, I can relieve you now. You can take your break. And she stopped and thought about it. And then she looked at me, and she goes, you know what? Let me finish up with him, and then you can take over. And I felt so blessed, my friends. I saw it just like that, but there's even something more beautiful. Now get this. Here's another advantage of spirit guides. It goes even further. I get out to the parking lot. I load up my car with groceries. I put it in reverse. I'm starting to back up. My spirit guide tells me, stop. Put it in park, right? Do not back up. And it actually had a little bit of humor. Said, you don't want to ruin your perfect day. Because I just got into Barnes & Noble, had the best day ever, got my groceries, had that great experience with a checker. And the spirit guide said, you don't want to ruin the perfect day you're having by getting sued right now. So I put it in park. I actually turned off the car. And then right after that, this little hunk of junk car sped right behind me. Now, I've heard of this before, this scam that people do. They try to get hit. They look for their reverse lights, and they get hit, and they grab their neck, and they sue you. And so my spirit guide saved me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to sit here and watch and see what that car does. Just moments later, it went down the next row, saw the backup lights, went right behind it, got ran into. My friends, it was a scam. My spirit guide saved me. Now, I want to share with you the name of my spirit guide that I never shared before because I thought it would make it not real to people. They think that doesn't sound right because in my mind, I couldn't understand it. But the name was Spartacus. And you see with spirit guides, the names don't mean anything to them, but sometimes we want a name, we ask for a name. So they'll give us something that has something to do with their archetype or their energy that we can understand. And Spartacus was about fighting Rome. And we as the Magi, we're fighting the system of Rome, really. And so what made me feel comfortable finally sharing this was I was watching this. And please, will you do this for me? Go to YouTube. Again, you're already on YouTube. Hello. After this video, search the telepathy tapes by Kai Dickinson. That's K-Y Dickinson's, like Charles Dickinson, right? Kai Dickens, or Dickens, excuse me. And it's the telepathy tapes. It's a podcast. It's 10 videos. And it just shows a picture of a tape and then just the words going by. But it's never boring, my friends. It'll open up your eyes and you'll understand how the Magi operate. And it brought me so much peace because these autistic kids, it's about telepathy with autism. Now, I'm going to get into this to build more of an understanding. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it's worth it, so that you can fully understand our holy prayer, Hashem Vahu. Have you ever noticed people, they pray Yata'ahu or Hashem Vahu or any prayer, but they don't tap into the power? This, I guarantee you, will show you how to tap into the power so that you're experiencing it. It's not just words, it's experience. So it's all about autism. And have you ever seen like how, say someone's blind, their other senses will enliven, like they can, their smell, they can smell something a mile away or something. You know, of course I exaggerate, but you know what I'm saying, right? Or they can hear, you know, like crazy hearing. The other senses kind of adapt. With autism, here's these kids that people think they're not smart, but they're actually geniuses, but locked in their head. And so this organization came up with a thing that they call spelling, and it's a board with letters on it. And they teach the children with autism to point at the letters to spell out what's in their hearts and minds. What they were discovering was these people are geniuses. Many of them know many languages. They know history. They know things they shouldn't know, my friends. They had gifts, like they could put their hand on a book and they could download the whole book, tell you characters and what the theme and moral of the book. My friends, get this. Because they were so lonely where they can't connect with parents or make friends, they would go to a place called the Hill. And it's a place where all non-speaking autistic children can go in their minds and talk and communicate, but it's real. It's not an imaginary friend. And this is proven later as the moms talk and got to know each other, and they'd be in different rooms and communicating in different countries and communicating. My friends, and they'd go to this place called the Hill. And isn't it beautiful? God made a place so they wouldn't be lonely. So they'd have friends. My friends, it's so sweet. And the mother started realizing that they were having this connection with their child, where their child knew what they were thinking. And it's funny, one of the moms, you know, the kid was spelling and said, "I can read your thoughts." And she said, "Bullshit, you're lying." And do you know what he said? He goes, "Mom, you don't get these gifts from God if you lie. We have to tell the truth." Oh, that touched me so hard. Now what they discovered, and now they're bringing in scientific experiments to make sure it's real, right? And they're discovering it is real. Like 100% of the time, the mom could be in another room, the child in another, and they'd show like a blue card with the number 3 on it. In another room, the child would say blue 3, right? So they're connected. Now they found out, even with their teachers of these autistic children, they started to connect telepathically, my friends. And the autistic children told them how to do it. They said, "Here's what you have to do. You have to have love. You have to have belief in me and that it's possible. And then you need to tune in to my heart. And the teachers got where they could tune in. My friends in there talking head to head. One teacher actually went to the hill. My friends, how beautiful is that? Oh, it gives me goosebumps. But that's how we as Magi tap into the Magi that were, are, and shall be. And these autistic kids also were tapping into relatives that had passed away. And they could tell everything about them by spelling it. And the parents couldn't believe it. They had never shared those stories with them. And they were spending time with them. So that's how we as Magi, with a Shem Vahu, with truth, right? One thing that Zoroastrian parents teach their children: speak the truth, do not lie, love, tune into the heart, right? Zarathustra, I who am attuning myself. We attune ourselves to love and truth and the heart. We set an intention to connect with our family of light, the Magi that were, are, and shall be. So, Hashem Vahu. What are you guys enjoying this? Can I share a little more? Because something else I thought was beautiful is they found this even happens with animals. There was a woman who had an African gray parrot. Again, it's all proven scientific, right? They did so they could actually prove it. So it wasn't just a story. But she realized that she'd be in another room reading a magazine with like a beautiful, say, beach scene. And in the other room, the parrot would go, beautiful beach, or something. She'd go, wait a minute, how's he seeing through my eyes, right? And so she reached out to some different people, and they conducted studies, and they put her in one room and the parrot in the other room. And again, they do the same thing like with the autistic kids. They'd show a number, show cards, show pictures, and the parrot would get it in the other room. And then the most beautiful story I heard was about this couple in Africa, and they wanted to open up a preserve for animals. They loved animals. And so they got the land, and then they heard of a herd of elephants that they were going to slaughter because they kept going into town and trampling and messing things up. So he goes, okay, I got to save them. So he went to where the elephants were and trying to befriend them. He said at first it didn't work, right? They tried to trample him. They'd run him out, but he wouldn't give up. He loved them. He wanted to save them. Finally made a connection with them, and they followed him to his safe preserve where they lived happily and comfortably and safe. And the elephants realized what had happened. And something so beautiful, years later, when the man died, the elephants instinctively knew it. Now, the elephants were miles away. They said it was a 12-hour march. 2 different tribes of elephants, herds, I guess you would say, instinctively, telepathically knew he died, and they all traveled that long distance, 12 hours, to stand out in front of his house. And they got video of them mourning and doing their elephant cries, whole herds of elephants outside his home mourning his death. Now get this, every year on that same day of his death, they make the trek back to mourn his death. And as I say that, it almost makes me cry. I get goosebumps through my whole body. How beautiful this world is, how connected we are. All of these beautiful children talk about connecting with God and love and good. At night, they go and God speaks to them and loves on them. Isn't that beautiful, guys? How much God loves and truly cares about us. And these wonderful souls, they have no connection to their body, but they're doing something. They're bringing this message of God and love and truth and connecting to the heart, and a language that is real and true, a universal language that only speaks truth. Like you can speak with your mouth and you can say one thing, but be feeling and thinking something else. You can be saying something and flat out lying, but with this true language, my friends, it's real and it's beautiful and it's love. And I feel so grateful for these beautiful beings that were brave enough to come here. And it's like a serious meditation where you disconnect from the body and mind and living from the spirit. And it's not always easy on them and their parents and caregivers, but boy, do they provide a beautiful service. They are heroes. Heroes. Hashem Vahu. There's 3 parts of it. So when the first part is prayed, the 1/3, You connect with the all good spirit, the all good God, right? There's many ideas of God, but when you go back to the original, it looks very different than the God you see in the world religions. That all the, I mean, just wars and hate and judgment and anger and just bad stuff has happened from these world religions because their highest idea of God good isn't that good. It's mixed. Zoroaster means unmixed. So our God isn't love and hate, peace and war, right? Doesn't heal or send disease. It's just good. And so when you pray 1/3 of Hashem Vahu, you're restoring God's image, that ideal, that highest principle. And then you're tuning yourself to it. You know it. You be it. You be that pure love without the hate. You be that pure love without the jealousy, unforgiveness, greed, hate, anger, warring. You're tuning your spirit, your energy, right? We're more than this body. We're tuning what we truly are back to that. And we're bringing our thoughts and body into that frequency. That's where healing comes from. That's where healing from OCD and depression and all those things come from. Attuning ourselves to the truth. We cannot lie. Tuning ourselves to love. Tuning into the heart. When 2/3 is prayed, you connect. It's like going to the hill for the autistic kids. You're going to the hill of the Magi that were, are, and shall be, the ones that guide and lead you and tell you, don't back up out of the space. Did I mention Cleopatra yet? Remember I was talking about not backing out of my space? It was Spartacus that told me not to do that. I didn't share that because I was embarrassed, but one of the autistic kids, when they're asking her, how do you have all this knowledge? Because they know things that are unknowable, like the wisest minds in the world knows. And she said, Cleopatra took me to God to learn this. And so I thought, you know what? I get it. It's an archetype. It's a name that they gave to her that she could understand the energy of it. And it made me think, I want to share Spartacus with my wonderful friends. It saved me that day. Another one is Lila. Do you guys know, I've quit YouTube many times because it does get disappointing. Like I know a lot of people have already clicked off after I asked them not to. A lot of people haven't hit the like button yet that would help us in the algorithm. And when you're so passionate, you want to get this message to the world so bad, your heart breaks sometimes, you get discouraged. I've quit so many times. But one time I was thinking, really quitting. And Lila saw something in me. I saw this in spirit. And she wanted to partner with me. Now, before this could happen, there was like an authority and asked me, are you willing to partner with her? And we kind of set out certain parameters, right? It wasn't going to be a possession, or something like that. And then we made a partnership. That next day is the day that I made my 5 favorite videos of all time, which you guys loved. And you felt the presence of Lila and her love and her kindness. I've had so many people tell me, I don't know what it is, but I see something so beautiful in you in this video. It actually made them cry. There's something so familiar. It's my #1 video. We doubled the channel like that, my friends. And then all those people that came for that video, they said, I came for the book content, but I stayed for the truth. I stayed for Asha, and we really grew. Made so many new wonderful friends that got excited. I think of Cole. He came through that video and he started making Asha videos. It changed his life. We've had so many testimonies that came from that. That's Talila, Spartacus, names that I didn't share because I didn't think people would understand, but it gave me courage as I saw these autistic kids using the names of their spirit guides that people would think, oh, that doesn't sound right. But if you understand it, it's the energy of it. Names aren't important at the hill in spirit, right? We know each other's energy. We don't need to say, oh, hey, I'm Bob, right? We know each other. Names aren't important, but there are archetypes, right? Certain energies that set you apart. And so they'll use those for us just to wrap our mind around and have a name, which is comforting to us humans, or those in form and body. So back to Shemvahu. So 1/3 you connect with the all good spirit. Now get this. We're talking about, I'm going to share with you a Magi prayer, right? Because 2/3 you connect with the Magi, all their prayers become yours, even the ones that haven't been born yet. That's why we live so good, because they're praying for us. Now look at 1/3, you partner with Ahura Mazda, the all good spirit. You get his prayer, Yata'ahu. And that prayer, you speak truth and the lie disappears. You speak light and the darkness flees. It's the prayer God prays. And the story that goes along with that was the evil spirit went to attack man and God, right? And told God, I'm going to separate you from your creation, from man, and I'm going to destroy them. And God had a good chuckle about it and said, oh, silly devil, it's impossible. You can't separate man from me because they are me. They come from me. They're made of me. They're me stuff, right? I'm them stuff. You can't destroy me. You can't destroy them. You can't separate us. It's impossible. And then it said that God prayed Yata'ahu. And when you speak the truth, guess what happens to the lie? It loses all of its power, all of its fear. It's nothing, right? And so that prayer becomes ours. 2/3, all the prayers of the Magi become ours. Well, we partner with the Magi, I should say. When the prayer is finished, then all the prayers of the Magi and God become ours. We're all just basically one thing, is the best way I can say that. And it's just like the autistic kids. It's just, we connect. And the guys, I've seen this. Some of you new ones are already experiencing it. But like with my old time followers that have been with me since the beginning, I will think of them when I'm missing them. Maybe I haven't seen them in the comments for a while. I'll see them in that video in the comments, and I'll say, I sent you that. And they go, I know. I had our wonderful friend Dorothy that passed away a couple years ago that you know and love. My biggest cheerleader. Of course, Timmy came along and it was so beautiful. Thank you, Timmy. But I remember thinking at the time, what am I going to do without my Dorothy? But we had such a connection. And I remember her telling me one time, she goes, Magus, it's real. I connected with you, like in that place that the Magi would call the hill. I said, I know. Isn't it beautiful? And it's such a beautiful connection. And those of us that truly love each other, we truly love this little orange book, right? Like I think of Augusto, right? He said when he got his book yesterday, he hugged it. He loved it. He slept with it. It's more than just a book. It's like how those autistic kids can put their hand on the book and get the spirit and the energy of it. We feel that, the word and the words. We love it, right? When I've noticed those of us that really love each other, really love Asha, really love the all good spirit, really tap into the heart of it, not trying to figure it out mentally, but just the love and the heart of it, the truth of it, the real above all real. We connect on that deeper level where I've told you, I've had conversations, right? That woman that got healed from arthritis, right? I set an intention for my spirit to connect to her spirit. I was calling out her name in spirit. When I felt that connection, she heard me, she said, and she was completely healed. My friends, it's so powerful. It's so beautiful. God is so good. It's so sad he's been misrepresented in such a horrible way in these world religions. But with help of our autistic friends and truth and information and knowledge that is just so right here. And the more we hear this, the more we know this, the more scientific tests that are being done, the more real it is, the more we believe in it, the stronger it's getting. My friends, it's so beautiful. Another advantage of, like I showed about connecting with the Magi that are and shall be, connecting with all good spirit. Some of the greatest miracles I've shared with you guys, right? Like spirit, God himself took me to the bottom of my ex-wife's driveway and had me put up a shield of faith one morning. Later that day, my ex-wife called me, told me my son was going down on a scooter down the steep driveway. They like to shoot out in the street. A car was coming. They were about to hit. She is screaming. She said he bounced off of an invisible shield. My friends, and I had put that up this morning with God, with Yata'ahu, with speaking truth. It's so beautiful. And you guys wonder why I'm so emotional all the time. I'm always on the verge of tears because I'm so happy. I'm so blessed. My friends, and my heart is to get this to everybody. And so my Magi, I want you to really tune in. I want you to reach out with your heart to that all good Spirit, that all good God that's unmixed, and know him. Allow yourself to be him and him be you. I say him, but it's not a sex. I want you to reach out and attune yourself to that Zoroaster pure light, to that pure love, to that truth, that real above all real, that's just good. I want you to reach out in your heart to me, to your Magi brothers that were, are, and shall be, to your spirit guides. Just open up your heart and connect with truth and love. If this is of love, this is for my highest good, this is for Asha, if this is for all the good Spirit, I want it and I receive it. If it's not, it won't resonate with us. Those low frequencies, you can't come into this space. I want to read to you one of the Magi prayer. We're so blessed to have this, and it is so powerful. This is their prayer for healing. I drive away sickness. I drive away pain and fever. I drive away disease, rottenness, and infection, which the evil spirit has brought against the bodies of mortals. I drive away all manner of disease, death, and evil spirits. May the much desired Christ come here for the men and women of God to rejoice. May the much desired Christ remove all manner of disease and death and all evil spirits. Keep us from our hater, O God. We say with the authority of alignment with the Christ mind, perish Satan, perish evil spirits, perish away. Evil spirits be bound and cast out, never more to give death unto the living world of God. And the Magi said, Asha is. And I love it says at the bottom, you can use these prayers until you enter first circle. Then you will not need them. So my friends, there is a time where we pray and we ask and we seek. But then there is a time when we are aligned. There's a time of aligning, attuning, but then there's a time we are attuned. We are aligned. We are the love that the evil spirits cannot enter. We are the love that hate, fear, greed, war, jealousy, unforgiveness cannot enter. We are the truth that the lie cannot enter. We are the light that darkness cannot enter. We are the peace. We are the joy. We are the kindness. We are the God good. And it's just coming home. Attuning with the all good God. Tuning with our family of light, the Magi that were, are, and shall be. Connecting with the sacred word, the original word that becomes ours, that becomes us. It's beautiful. Makes me think of Asha 13. Talks about the original word. The only thing that could come from a perfect creator's perfect mind. It says the original word, all good comes from the Creator, and no evil comes from him. From this original word is the spiritual world made straight and the material world brought into order. The original word of false religion is that evil comes from the Creator, and in this false idea is all the evil creatures suffer. So I'd like to pray a Shem Vahu. And this is a way for you, if you're not already, to become a part of the Order of the Magi. It's a heart thing. It's a belief. It's a spiritual thing that you can do right now. So 1/3, I'm going to pray the whole prayer. It's very short. But I just want you to picture, as I pray, you connecting with the all-good spirit. You're setting down those mixed gods. You're taking the pure God. You see yourself partnering with the Magi that were, are, and shall be your family of light. And you see the sacred word becomes yours. The original word. Can I pray? And then when I'm done, just say, Asha is. Dog's jumping down. Go ahead, baby. Okay, ready? Hashem Vahu Vahestemasti Usta Amai Yatashai Vestai Hashem. Asha is. It's beautiful. All right, so I told you guys I'd let you know when the main message is over. So if you want to leave, that's fine. But I'm going to stay and talk a little longer. Perfect timing. The dog just got a little restless and moving around. Here comes a Chihuahua. Hi, babies. But I just want to talk a little bit about Beauty for Ashes. I don't know if this is still available, but it has some of our sacred prayers. It has text from the Avestas, has some Gathas. What?